He laughed in her face. Faked a limp. Mocked a sweet old lady on crutches in front of her local grocery store, just for asking him not to park in a disabled bay. I said nothing then. But 7 years later I was handed a ticketing machine, and the chance to make him pay. Every single time. If you've ever watched someone get away with cruelty and wished you could make it right, this one's for you. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and stick around, because this is a tale where karma may have taken its time, but it came back with interest. Let's dive in. Retail, the kind of job that breaks your spirit in small pieces, one entitled customer at a time. When I first started at the store I was shy, non-confrontational, the kind of person who'd say sorry when someone else bumped into me. But even in that mess of a job there were bright spots. One of them? A sweet, elderly woman who always made my day better. Let's call her Mrs. Thompson. Tiny, silver-haired, warm smile, she reminded me of everything good about people. Every time she came in she'd park in the disabled bay, rightfully so. She had a blue badge and walked with a bit of a limp. She was kind, patient, and always had a joke or a story. One of those people who make the world feel softer. But one day, everything changed. It had been a few weeks since I'd seen her. Then one morning I spotted her familiar car pulling into the disabled spot. But this time she stepped out slowly, supported by crutches, her leg in a full plaster cast. Before I could even make it over to her, it happened. A massive blue Mercedes, a builder's work truck, pulled into the disabled bay right next to her. No badge. No hesitation. Out jumps a man in his early 40s, bulky, smug. His teenage son follows him, just as cocky. Mrs. Thompson, in her quiet but firm way, speaks up. "Excuse me, sir, that space is for badge holders. You don't seem to have one." And I swear to you, this man sneered, as if decency itself offended him. He turned on her and spat out, "You're one to talk. That cast is probably fake. Let me guess, milking the system, eh? Bet you've been disabled for years while soaking up benefits." Then mocked her limp. Full-on exaggerated limp, dragging his leg like a child pretending to be hurt, laughing with his son as they walked off. Mrs. Thompson just stood there, frozen. Humiliated. And me? I did nothing. I was frozen too. I told myself I wasn't brave, that it wasn't my place. Later I went to my manager, but, predictably, they shrugged it off. Not worth the drama, they said. But I never forgot. And I never forgave. For the next 7 years I watched that man come in and out of the store. Always driving that same obnoxious blue Mercedes. Always parking in the disabled bays. No badge. No shame. And every time I saw him, I remembered Mrs. Thompson. Her quiet dignity. Her stunned silence. The way he laughed like he'd won something. But in year 7, my chance arrived. Our store had a new parking system. No more external companies, no more ignoring violations. Instead, staff were given handheld ticketing machines to report violations. 3 rules. No parking in disabled bays without a badge. No parking in child bays without a child. You must park within a marked bay. Every violation? £80 fine. No paper tickets, just photos and digital submissions. Offenders would receive the fines weeks later, unaware who reported them. And just like that, justice was in my hands. The first time was electric. I spotted his Mercedes. Front row disabled bay. No badge. He strutted into the store like a king. My heart pounded. I grabbed the device, hurried out. Snapped the photos, wide shots, close-ups, full plates, time-stamped. Click, submit. Boom. The system was efficient. No confrontation. Just quiet, surgical revenge. And best of all, he wouldn't know it was me. But one fine. That wasn't enough. Not for what he did. The beauty of the system was its delay. He wouldn't get that first fine for weeks, which meant he kept parking there. Again. And again. Every time I saw that blue beast parked where it didn't belong, I smiled, took my shots, sent the report. It became a ritual. Morning coffee, ticket the scumbag, start the day. Eventually, I noticed he stopped parking in the disabled bays. Finally, after a half dozen tickets, or maybe more, the message got through. But this man? He didn't learn. He just shifted his entitlement elsewhere. Next stop, the child parking bays. He had no children with him. Never did. No car seats. Nothing. And again he was back at it, close to the entrance, stealing spaces from actual parents struggling with strollers and toddlers. So I adapted. Snapped fresh evidence. Zoomed in on the empty back seat. No booster seats. No toys. No baby bags. Another string of tickets. He changed spots again. But the rules were clear. Rule 3, stay within the lines. The Blue Menace began parking across bays. Sometimes angled like a drunk, other times with wheels over the lines. Once I even caught him trying to wedge that beast into a taxi-only space, failing miserably. And every time, I was there, patient, precise, smiling as I filed more violations. There was something satisfying about it. Not rage, not even glee, just balance. Like the universe had tipped the scales in my favor, and I wasn't going to waste the moment. Eventually, the system changed again. An external company was brought in to handle enforcement. Our machines were taken back. My time was over. But the damage? Already done. He'd racked up thousands in fines over those months. Whether he paid them or not, I didn't care. He had to deal with the stress, the paperwork, the dread of every new envelope. He had to wonder who was watching him, who was holding him accountable. And that was enough. 3 years passed. One day I was walking through the parking lot long after I'd left the job. I heard yelling. There he was, red-faced, furious, screaming at a random guy in a high-vis vest, accusing him of being the one who'd been harassing him with tickets for years. The poor guy looked confused, but I nearly laughed out loud. He was still thinking about it, still angry, still unraveling, and I walked right by, quiet, invisible, the way I'd always been. Only this time, with a smile. Sometimes justice takes years. And sometimes it doesn't come from loud heroes or dramatic confrontations. Sometimes it's quiet, it's persistent, and it's built one photo, one click, one fine at a time. Karma's not always fast, but when it hits hard. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this tale of slow, calculated justice, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good revenge story. And remember, when someone mocks kindness, they're writing their own karma report. Thanks for watching.